Hello, we're back. In episode 37, I said we'd be talking about the Invader port to the Commodore Amiga in Microsoft Basic for Amiga and AMOS Professional Basic. I started with the Microsoft Basic for Amiga version first, but quit working on that version for several reasons. One is that it's very poorly documented. Besides the Amiga Basic book that comes with the Amiga 500, there's almost no other documentation out there or online help. Another reason is that the sprite editor that's written in Amiga Basic is so hard to use that I couldn't imagine even drawing the sprites necessary for my Invader demo after creating the turret sprite with it. Then there's the speed of trying to move sprites or blitter objects, otherwise known as bobs. With Amiga Basic, it was slower than moving sprites on a Commodore 64 in Basic. So that explains why nobody wrote even simple arcade games on the Amiga in Microsoft Amiga Basic. And there's no retro following for doing that either, at least not that I can find. I may return to the Amiga and see if I can create Invader in C at a later time, but until then we'll move on to the AMOS Professional Basic version. So here's the AMOS Professional Basic IDE in the WinUAE Amiga emulator. It comes with a sprite editor, seen here, and the code editor, complete with a help system. Let's take a look at the code and run the game. So it turns out that my Amiga 500 with 1 megabyte of RAM couldn't run AMOS Pro, so I had to convert my AMOS Pro code to Easy AMOS by exporting the code to an ASCII file, then importing the ASCII file into Easy AMOS and making a few changes to get it to work. So let's go to my Amiga 500 and see what that looks like. So here's my Amiga 500. It has 2 digital drives. One installed as DF0 or disk floppy 0, and one installed on the back as DF1 or disk floppy 1. Hardware purists consider this a crime, but I didn't cut or remove any plastic, so I could reinstall an original drive in here if I wanted to. And I have an RGB to HDMI adapter that I picked up on eBay, and it makes for a better signal on a modern TV. Although it does have a little rolling interference, it's still much better than the signal that I was getting on my Amiga 520 RGB to composite adapter. So here is Invader in Easy AMOS Basic running on actual hardware. It's nice and smooth. I have to say AMOS is the way to go if you want to get started writing games on the Amiga in Basic. So, next episode I will be showing a port of Invader to the Commodore 64, again, this time in BASIC, using Vision Basic, and some assembly language. And as an added bonus, I'll be showing a web-based C64 BASIC compiler called MoSpeed. That about wraps up episode 38 of my journey in game programming. Please like and subscribe and leave any comments or suggestions you may have that could make these a better experience. Until then, bye. I'll talk to you next time.